Hey everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Herd. If it's your first time here, if you like the content, hit subscribe. If you want to get notifications for when we go live, tap the bell. And if you want to join the UVH fam, our community, links are below in the Discord. Below in the description to our Discord and our free options trading group on Facebook. If you're here right now, say what up. What's going on, Mateus, Jeff, Keith? Morning. Rise and grind. We're here Thursday. Dow is down 176. S&P's down 20. NASDAQ down 35. Yo, Aaron, what's going on? Kind of interesting. So we're down a little bit on the coronavirus fears. We had some earnings. Obviously, Facebook is currently down. Tesla's up, even though it's dropped a bit, like 30 points from its high of 659. Yo, David, what's going on? What's going on, everyone? So we're gonna kick this off. Looks like futures are coming up a little bit. You can see that SPY did hit 323 this morning, back up to 324. So futures are trying to rebound. So I guess the question is today a buy the dip day, or are we gonna be chilling? Panic sold 3 Tesla calls yesterday afternoon. Was asleep talking about the money I missed. Yeah, I mean, if you're panicking in the market, probably means that the position was too large, or you didn't really have a firm belief on the trade idea. I mean, I do admit that. I mean, I didn't trade it because, I mean, it was a gamble, man. Like, Tesla was on a ginormous run, and we'll talk about Tesla in a second, but I just didn't know. I didn't know how far it can go. You don't know how far it can go up. It ran a ton. Yeah, Facebook I was looking at last night. So let's cover some of the news. Rob, what's up? Real quick. Fourth quarter GDP is in 2.1%. We're down from 2019. We're down from 2018. We're down from 2017. So it's the slowest growth in 3 years. So that should make you feel good. U.S. economy only grew 2.1%, below the 2.9 increase from 2018 and 2.4% gain in 2017. The first year of Donald Trump's presidency. So 2019, the move in 2019 was well below the White House's projection following the 2017 tax bill cut that cut corporate taxes and individual rates. So that's kind of interesting. Yo, Kelly, what's going on? What's up? If you're here right now, say what up. If you guys are enjoying the content, please hit the like button. It's free. It helps me out a lot. YouTube, I don't know. So the death toll, so coronavirus is scaring the markets again. Looks like we're trying to rip back up. I was looking to get into a S&P futures last night, but I was a little, I'll show you in a second here. So death toll right now is at 170. People infected is at 7,700, and that's just in China. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Outside of that, there's a group of people that just came from Wuhan, landed at a California military base. They are there for 72. They're going to be held at the military base for 72 hours. However, there's a bunch of stuff that's going on. I guess someone on a Carnival cruise ship holding 7,000 people, someone on there has coronavirus, and that ship's on lockdown in Italy. I mean, this thing is a mess, Trevor took a Microsoft call yesterday. Congrats, man. Tobin, let's go, bro. Let's go. Let's get that money. Let's get it. If you guys looking to get paid this morning, comment get paid. Going to short the intraday balance. Looks like they're trying to pull the market back up right now. As I'm talking, Dow just came up about 30 points. S&P just jumped about 5 points up. I just started talking 4 minutes ago. So maybe it's me. I'm just kidding. The it does say here, the spread of the Wuhan virus isn't accelerating, but markets becoming more concerned about future earnings and economic growth as companies implement work stoppages to reduce the chance of disease spreading. So that's what I was saying the other day was, Wall Street right now doesn't really care about the people dying. I know it's insensitive. What they care about is the money that's going to be made or lost from this. So who benefits from this? Who loses from this? Our factories being shut down. We know like Starbucks is shutting some stuff down in the Hubei province. McDonald's was shutting down. It's hard. I don't think any Apple factories are shut down yet, but that's going to impact it. Tesla's factory is closed. So just be aware. I think it's just a contagious cold. If you're old, don't go outside. People hit the panic switch. Yeah, I guess the person in Chicago and the person that's in Chicago that has coronavirus that's being held up at the hospital relatively close to where I am. And I guess that person's elderly. And I think, it's kind of like what they say for elderly people, get the flu shot, if you're highly prone to get these things like pneumonia, flu. So you got to be cautious. I'm more worried about, not necessarily for me. I'm relatively healthy, but for like kids and the elderly, I think that it is dangerous. In America, it's not so much of a big deal yet as we have a few people infected, and no one, to my knowledge, has died yet in the U.S. Mostly people are dying in China, and I don't know why. I don't know why that is, but that's where it's concentrated right now. I guess that's where it started, and they're saying they think that it might have come from bats and all this crazy stuff. And I don't know. Maybe the Chinese people were eating some weird stuff over there. I don't know. Wilbur Ross, Secretary, thinks coronavirus will bring back jobs to North America. I don't know. Can you call Apple factories orchards? All right, so we're going to look at Tesla here. We're going to look at Facebook. So what I'm looking at on Facebook is this 205. It bounced off 205, currently at 208. On the 1 year chart, I'm actually looking at 205, 204 area down in here as it's showing some stabilization. Also, 205 area, 206 area was a point of rejection. I would be interested to see if this is going to be an area of support here or if it's going to bust down through. If it's an area of support, we can probably play that up to like 210, 215. Facebook, they did announce great profits, good revenue, however, slower growth. They're reaching Facebook. The problem with Facebook right now is they're reaching a point of saturation where they're growing revenue, they're growing profits, but they're not growing users. And, there's only so many people in the world. There's only so many people in the world that are connected to the internet. So Facebook has to get creative on what they're going to do next. People are saying, hey, you need to start concentrating on Instagram, building out the shopping experience on there. They're talking about Instagram checkout. However, Sheryl Sanders says that Instagram checkout is in the infancy stage, could be years away, which I think they need to make that more of a priority because Facebook has reached a point of saturation. Mostly on Facebook, when I go on there now, it's not so much, even people my age, it's older people, it's people just commenting, just whatever. And I guess you could say it's become a little toxic. It's become very political and, religion based. And it used to be just kind of a fun place to go to, check out what your friends are doing. They would post on there. But now, because of all the paid advertising, the stuff that were pushed is, obviously political ads. We're going to be, the stuff that older people post isn't necessarily stuff that we're interested in, so, Facebook, I think, has some work to do. I think Instagram is kind of where it needs to be. Instagram makes money, but they need to take it to the next level. It's still the same app it was when they started. Sure, they added stories to try to crush Snap and all that, but Facebook posts look like the comment section in Yahoo Finance. Yeah, honestly, who has, and the same goes for YouTube. Thankfully, we have an amazing community. You guys are great. We don't really get that much hate. Occasionally, I get so much hate. People call me stupid and that kind of thing. But, the comment section on the internet is like the most toxic place ever, and thankfully on like Facebook, you have to use like a real profile. You can't use a fake name, so they have that going for you. But it doesn't really matter if you don't know that person. That person just hides behind the screen, spreads toxic hate, and and those people would never say those things to your face. So right now I'm looking at 205 on Facebook. Tesla, I think what everybody wants to know. So Tesla closed at 580 yesterday, currently at 628. So it's within the expected move. The expected move on it was like $60 and some change. It's currently moved about $40, $48. So premium sellers, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of premium crush, because these, let me pull these up here. If you're going, let's pull up all the strikes. There was a lot. So even, let's see here. Even the 455 puts were going for like $1.50. The call side, on the call side, the 725 calls were going for $1. It was super crazy. So it closed at 580. So at the time, like right at the money was the puts were 30. Let's just call it $30, and the calls were about $30. So, but that makes sense for a $60 expected move. At the money, puts are going to be $30. At the money, calls are going to be $60. So that way, if you place, with an IV of 168% on the weeklies, you're going to be in trouble if it stays within the expected move, and it stay within the expected move. Sure, if you win all calls, but expect a massive premium crush today, because we're also on Thursday. There's only one day left in the week, and it was at 168% volatility, and next week was at 101%. I mean, the expected move for next week was $74. I probably would have went with next week's expiration if I was buying premium. Selling premium seemed like a no-brainer, but I've been staying away from Tesla because it's been irrational, I guess you can say. Unrational is not a word. Irrational. People have been loading up, and I just wanted to know what was in the earnings report. That's why I haven't been trading. People are like, hey, why aren't you trading Tesla? I've been making bags and stuff like that. It's because I can't, the way that I make money in the market is doing things that are predictable, doing things I've done before. And when stocks get irrational like that, I'm not sure if it's going to go up, it's going to go down. If I'm not sure, I'm just not going to trade it. Yeah, sure, I'm going to leave money on the table. Sure, I'm not going to be making the bags that people are making on this, but I'm also not going to be taking on the risk that people are taking onto this, So it's just not a stock that I wanted to trade. I do agree that I believe Tesla has a very strong future. They're seeing strong growth right now. Their factories are going up, even though Shanghai is shut down. EV is the future. Gas is not. I am definitely looking forward to getting an EV car here. I don't know if it's going to be Tesla. The problem with Tesla for a family, it's a little bit on the small side, even if you go with the Model X. And to be honest with you, it doesn't matter how much money I make. I don't ever want to put six figures into a car. I'm sorry. It's like one of the worst investments ever. Unless you're buying some like classic car and it's from like 1950, 1960 and it's rare and it's a collectible, stuff like that. That's different. But buying an everyday car, paying six figures for like a Model X, it's just not worth it to me. I know the Model 3 is more affordable, but for a bigger family doing Costco runs, you need the space. So for a family, I think they need more of like a family-friendly vehicle. It's great for the celebrity. It's great for if you have like one or two people, maybe some grown kids that you're not like going to Costco buying all these diapers and stuff. But I think that Tesla, if they want to get like people like me to buy, you're going to want to put out a vehicle that's a little bit bigger, SUV like, and you can go on these runs where it can hold the stroller and all your groceries and your Costco stuff, and be 50, 60K. Well, Trevor, the maintenance Elon says that they could potentially run for 1,000,000 miles because there's no moving parts. So like on a typical gas engine, what we have now, we have a lot of moving parts. We have the belt, we have the motor, but on electric car, think of like an RC car. When you have a little RC car has the batteries in there, there's no moving parts except for the wheels. There's no oil to change. So it also removes the human error out of it. So like a lot of times, sometimes what happens, you bring your car into the shop, human error. Oh, guy forgot to screw the valve on. Oh, he forgot to screw this back on. Oh, he dropped this in there. Oh, he broke this. So it removes that part. So yeah, the Cybertruck, I don't know though. The Cybertruck is interesting, but I feel like if you're driving a Cybertruck around, especially like in the Chicago area, you're kind of going to be like, attention's going to be drawn to you. When you're out with, like, for an individual person, not a big deal, but when you're out with kids, you have to think about your kids, right? You don't want too much attention to you. You don't want really people to pick up on you. And then honestly, if you're driving through, to go down to the zoo, sometimes you drive through some not so good areas, I'll just say, in the Chicago area, just to go to the zoo. And we go to the zoo all the time, and it's fun, Daniel. But you don't want attention drawn to you in the Chicago area. I mean, the Cybertruck, I think, is a good price. Space looks good, everything is good, but when you're out with kids, you don't want that attention drawn to you. You want to just do your thing. You want to get in, you want to get out. You don't want strangers coming up to you, especially like if I'm not there and it's just my wife. You don't want the attention. And everybody, if you're driving I don't care if you're driving a Cybertruck. When it comes out, people are going to be, you saw how the internet reacted. If you're driving out, it's like the new Hummer. When the Hummers came out, everyone was like, oh man, the Hummer's legit. Like, I'm going to get one of those. And people wanted to take pictures and everyone wanted to do this. And then the Cybertruck, when that comes out, it's going to be like the new Hummer. I just don't think, I think I would like the Cybertruck, but that whole aspect, you just don't want, in this day and age, you just don't want all that attention drawn to you. You know what I mean? You need a Cybertruck for your area, that bulletproof glass. I live in a good area, but when you're passing through neighborhoods is mostly what you're worrying about and stopping. Good news is with the Tesla, you don't have to stop for gas, so that's good. We had a lot of times, I know a lot of people, not me, but thankfully I've been blessed not to get held at gunpoint. But I've known a lot of people that stop for gas, got held at gunpoint. When you're downtown, when I stop for gas, it's a good place for homeless people to hang out, ask for money. I've had people try to sell me things like cologne, shirts, stuff like that at the gas station. So, you can't knock the hustle, but at the same time, you also have to protect your family, and you don't want people thinking, you have all this money and you're just, most people, like you see, like around here, a lot of Bentleys, Ferraris, and Teslas and all that kind of thing, like in my area, in Chicago and all that. But most of those people, you have to understand, they don't actually have money on them. Some do, but they don't. They don't carry thousands of dollars in their pocket, But why take the risk? Brick and mortar stocks are being destroyed. Earnings are falling while valuations rise. How long will that continue? GameStop on the verge. Yeah, GameStop. The can man's closing crazy. I had someone trying to get in my truck in Chicago. Yeah, people also make mistakes. Like in Chicago, like someone tried to get in your car. Like, oh, sorry, I thought this was my car. I guess in the Cybertruck you wouldn't really have that issue. Like someone gets in your car, like, because who else has a Cybertruck? Not that many, But, you just don't want, like in Chicago, you don't want confrontation. People come up to you regardless, but you don't want to have an initial, you try to stay, like in Chicago, you try to stay away from confrontation. People shoot people for stupid stuff, and it's honestly just not worth it. So I just for Tesla, that's what with a person with a family, that's what I'd be looking for from Tesla. Something that looks normal, that blends in, that doesn't say, "Hey, come on over here to take pictures with my truck." Because that's all. If you drive I guarantee, if you drive a Cybertruck to a Walmart, everyone's going to be taking pictures of that thing. And one of the Walmarts I go to last year, someone was shot in the parking lot, over just some random dispute. So, I'm not saying I do live in a good area, but you travel, like when you're driving and going different places, you go through all these different areas because we're all connected. Just because you live in a nicer area, it doesn't mean that you're not going to ever go into the worst areas, the bad areas, or whatever the case is. Thankfully, I'm blessed to have a safe place for my family to live. But there's a lot of places that you go, even with your kids, just passing through, going somewhere, going to doctors, going different places. It's just the way it's just the way it is, Meanwhile, promises. So if you're here right now, say what up. Drop me a like. Hit the like button. I appreciate it. Looks like Tesla's coming down a little bit. Microsoft is ripping 175, basically 174, 175. I just don't know how fast this is going to move. So we're right here right now. Nice bounce from 160 up to 175, but Microsoft is a slow mover. I mean, I definitely would buy. I would probably buy. I think Microsoft's probably the safest stock right now in the market. One of the safest stocks. They're growing. Their future is pretty secure with the cloud-based model, Office 365, Azure, Microsoft has the tech game on lock. Windows 10, Windows 7 just got killed. Everyone's going on Windows 10. I mean, Microsoft is the future. Amazon. So Amazon, let's bring up the earnings calendar real quick. I don't live in Detroit for a reason. I'll drive 45 minutes to get there if I need to. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Detroit, a lot of nice places surrounding Detroit. Other places not so nice. Kind of the same thing. Every major city has that. Whether you're in LA, Chicago, New York. I mean, everyone. It's just part of it. Okay, so Coke earnings we're out this morning. UPS, Verizon. Tonight we have Amazon, EA, Visa, and then tomorrow morning we have Exxon and Cat. So let's take a look at Coke real quick. Probably not a huge mover. Expected move on Coke was $1.50. It's currently up $1. So it's right within the expected move. I have been noticing I'm probably looking to sell some more premium. Everything has been within the expected move mostly, except for Microsoft has moved beyond the expected move. Facebook has moved beyond the expected move. But other than that, mostly everything has been in line with the expected move so far. So that is good for selling premium. UPS, let's see what they were doing. So UPS is currently down about $4. Expected move on that was $5.30. So that's within the expected move as well. Verizon expected move was $1.30. It's currently down 90 cents. So, it's kind of on the verge there. Dylan, I'll take a look at the video in just a second. So tonight, I guess what's interesting is Amazon. I do think Amazon is going to be doing well. Holiday sales are usually strong. However, I'm a little bit concerned about guidance since they've already commented on guidance, kind of brace for impact, saying, hey, our profits aren't going to be as good as they should because we've been investing those profits into the business, which, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing, but profits are profits, right? So, I definitely think that it's going to get above 1900. But the question is the market going to allow that? Is the market going to allow that? I mean, Amazon's pretty much is the only stock that hasn't ran in the last year. Everyone else has been moving up. Amazon has been pretty much staying the same, been hugging basically 1800. Let's just call it 1800, 1850. Just been kind of gravitating towards 1800, 1850 area. We're back at 1850. I do think that it'll be a push up, but right now we'll see. I think it comes down to the guidance. Everyone knows they're going to blow that out. Visa. So Visa, we're looking at an expected move of $1.60. What's Amazon? Sorry, I didn't check. Amazon expected to move $63, so seems a little light. So Verizon expected move is $1.60, but they don't typically move a lot on earnings. So, however, I feel like because of this run, they could come back down quite a bit. I do think that the $1.60 move is being underestimated here at this point because of this move. I do think that it could explode up to over to 210 or below 200. I do think that. I mean, so Verizon, relatively low IV, only 13% implied volatility for this week, 27% implied volatility for next week. So if I was going to do anything, probably would be like a debit spread, maybe like a debit iron condor, if you can get one cheap enough. So Verizon looks interesting to me just based on the chart and because IV is so low. So I wouldn't try to sell any credit when it's a $200 stock and it's expected to move $1.60. Granted, it hasn't moved a lot the last time, but look at it. The chart, the last couple quarters, the chart's been basically flat. So, and now it's taken off. So I would be prone to either put a strangle on. I don't know how much. Yeah, strangles are relatively cheap right now, even for next week. So it's strangles, or you could do some sort of debit spreads on Verizon. Kobe Inc. makes him the third largest shareholder in Bodenheimer behind Repo and Collins, according to release. Yeah, I mean, Rob, Kobe had investments, man. Yo, Nicholas, what's going on? NVIDIA. Okay, let's look at NVIDIA real quick. Market opens in 4 minutes. I've been just kind of ranting. sorry guys. It's one of those mornings. The kids got up like really early, and I just had my coffee. And we're a lot of times I hop on here, no coffee. Here I'm fueled. I'm fueled up, ready to go. Now S&Ps are back down 22. Dow's down 192. So it looks like it's giving back up that push. So NVIDIA, it's at currently 240. 241. So just be careful. NVIDIA is impacted a lot by China. We were talking a lot about this when it was in regards to the tariffs. So NVIDIA has a lot of revenue that comes from China, so just be aware of that. But I do think that it's good for. I do agree with Ariana. I do agree with being long NVIDIA. Like if it comes down to right now it's like 241. If it comes down to 238, 237, I would look to be pushing up. It depends on how accelerated. Are we going to get a sell-off? Most of the time, right now, a lot of moves have been happening after hours. But then when we open, it's like very slow. I don't know if you guys noticed this week. It's been very slow. Like the market's trying to decide what do we want to do? Like the market's confused almost. Like, oh, are we going down? Are we going up? What are we going to do? It's like, oh, these stocks are going up, and these stocks are going down. Today is definitely going to be a very mixed morning, and I don't anticipate like Dow's already down 200, like the bottom to fall out. I don't think that's going to happen. And the way that the sell-offs have been going, the selling has been a very controlled downward move. There hasn't been any panic. We've just been going down very slowly, very calculated. So that makes you think that it's not all doom and gloom. So you just got to be careful. Kind of. Right now, we're still in buy the dip territory. Nothing has been. I mean, Monday we had a little bit of a scare. I mean, Dow was down 440 at one point, almost 500, I believe. Currently, Dow's down 200. However, we recovered. But on the S&Ps, what I'm looking for on the S&Ps is what's going to happen here at like 32.35 area. Right now, it's at 32.50. 32.35, I'm interested to see, is this going to bounce from here or is it going to move back up? So I would actually like the S&Ps to drop another 10 points, 15 points, test this area, and decide what we're going to do with the market. We're going to go down, we're going to go up. What's the game plan? So Facebook by the dip, Disney earnings next week. So yeah, I'll be looking to get some Disney going as well. Disney, I think, will probably be great earnings due to Disney Plus, and it's been selling. We're back down here at 136, so it's having some trouble. Expected move is $7 for next week. So Might buy some calls. I think that Disney Plus is a pretty huge catalyst for them right now. Market's about to open. Let's see what it do. Let's see what it do. All right, we're open here. Okay, so SPY is open at 324.33, 324.34. Disney. Let's see, Tesla. Tesla's at 629 currently. Insane. Tesla with an 8% move to the upside. And Facebook, let's see Facebook. Facebook is at 206. So I'm watching that 205 area. If we can get 205, see what happens. You know, I don't when I'm trying to trade earnings, I don't try to just get in right away. I look for a little bit of IV crush because a lot of times if there's a big move like a 7%, 8% move, IV crush isn't going to happen right at open. Netflix is trying to bounce out that 340 again. So I would like Netflix to hang around 340 and then bounce like late morning, early afternoon area would be ideal for me. So it's definitely going to be an interesting day. So prepare for Amazon, prepare for EA, prepare for Visa, Caterpillar, Exxon, if you guys are trading any of those or if you have stock. Target, let's take a look here. Yeah, Target looks rough. I mean, I would be loving 105 area if I want to be long. And I mostly talk about being long right now is because I honestly, it's hard to short right now. It's a lot easier to go long. So it's a lot easier to be patient to go long. I mean, sure you can go short, but you're going to be fighting more things than waiting to go long, you know. Space, I don't know. I think it's going to consolidate. I think space is going to consolidate around here. It needs to. We talked about this, I think, a couple days ago. Space needs to settle down, and it looks like it's starting to settle down around the 17 and 18 area. I mean, sure, it's having some big moves. However, from 19, there is a downtrend here. So the way that you're looking at it, it's making the highs are getting lower. So just be aware of that. I mean, it could settle down around like the 15 area. You know, for stocks like this, you want it to kind of relax, sell down, take some smart positions and move on from there. ABBV, they're currently moving on down too. They had a bump due to the coronavirus. People were saying that they were using their, I don't know what drug it was. I didn't remember off the top of my head. They were using one of the drugs that they make, but it looks like we're now in a downtrend as well. So they have earnings February 7th. So last earnings got them back up here. Now we're heading back down. So it looks like it wants to come back down toward the 80 mark. So we'll see what happens. You all have a great day. We're going to get it today. As always, stay safe, stay green. It's us versus herd.